Hi, I'm Jale. Welcome to my channel. This is going to be a general collective reading for today. I hope you're all doing very well and you had a lovely weekend. Welcome to those who are already joining us. Thank you so much for your likes. I appreciate you. How's your weekend? How's everyone doing? We've just had Uranus that's now going to retrograde. This is going to be an interesting one. This is now 6 planets. We've got Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, and also now Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn, all now in retrograde. 5 planets. Chiron 6. It's an interesting one, guys. How's your weekend been? We're going to hopefully jump into that energy, see what's going on, see what messages are. So we've got a bit of an interesting run at the moment because we've also had... So obviously Uranus is the planet of change, okay? It's a very catalytic type of energy. It's currently in Taurus up until January 15th, 2021. Hello, Tia Nina. I hope you're doing well. Interestingly, when it actually starts going direct, stationary, then direct, it's going to be about 0 degrees Taurus, which is essentially where my sun is. So that's awesome. You know, so we've also got the galactic center is actually currently in retrograde as well. Up until the 16th of November, it's actually in retrograde. Hello, Karen. I hope you're doing well. So this is an interesting one because we've got a bit of a catalyst energy going on here. Hello, Joanna. I hope you're doing well. So the way it's kind of working out at the moment is the tail end of this month, we've got Cupid kickstarting the first planet to go direct, right? Then we've got Jupiter going direct on the 13th of September, Saturn going direct on the 29th of September, and then Mercury going into retrograde in October. And we've also got Mars going into retrograde on the 9th of September. So you are going to be in this push-pull energy. Please do not expect movement. That's how I want to say this. I would love to sit and lie to you and go, yeah, there's going to be so much movement. There isn't. I'm sorry to sort of be the bearer of bad news, but there really isn't. So if you're in a situation that you are trying to avoid and run away from, then the sort of advice is to look at that. Oh, 111 seconds ago. Interesting. Hello, Jen. Thank you so much for joining us. So basically, the energy here is one of you don't want to see it. Well, we're going to put it in front of your face until you do. You don't want to sort of understand it. We're going to put this in front of your face until you do. There's a lot of evasive energy around at the moment. Now, it may well be you're sort of sat there going, yeah, but, you know, I need to do this and I need to do that and I need to do the other. Great. But I feel like Spirit are trying to get us to look at this because otherwise they wouldn't be putting everyone in this energy. Now, this is the thing. Everyone's going to be different, but there is going to be a situation that is 1000% needing to be looked at. Uranus having kind of gone into this pause position is, especially because I'm going to be really honest with you, this is not really clearing here. Hello, Cindy. Hope you're doing well. This is not really clearing here until beginning of January because there's a lot of planets that are still in retrograde. They're going to go direct, and then you've got the typical Mercury and Mars, Mercury communication, Mars action, going sort of in a pause position. It's a push and pull. The fact that the galactic center is actually in retrograde, it's been in retrograde since the 3rd of August. The galactic center, you would have probably had quite a lot of insight from around sort of June, July up until August as to what you want to do. And then August time, if you feel like there was a pause, this is why. The galactic center is the birthplace of everything in the universe. It's your manifestation point. If there was ever a manifestation point in the universe, the galactic center is it. So the fact that it's in retrograde, what does that tell you? Retrograde as in going backwards, paused. You know, it's an optical illusion. It's not actually going backwards. It has the appearance of that, which is why the energy presents in that way. So we're going to have more reflection, guys. I know that's probably not what you want to hear, but you know, I've got to be realistic with it. Now, the interesting thing here is that there's been this thing being passed around where there's 2 moons that will be on this in the sky from August the 27th, right? Which is the Mars, and which is basically, it's going to look like 2 moons, but actually it's going to be Mars and the moon, right? And then the kind of idea was that this won't happen again until 2287. But the interesting part is, and if you guys follow my Instagram, this I posted up and it was immediately flagged as fake news. Now, I don't know about you, but my spidey senses immediately was like, oh yeah. Hello, Gigi, hope you're doing well. My spidey senses were like, all right, you flagged this as fake news. There's paedophilia everywhere and you're flagging this as fake news. So I'm curious now, because I'm like, why out of all the posts, and it wasn't even 3 minutes in that someone tagged that as false news. And I'm seeing a lot of spiritual sites that are also flagging it as false news. Dude, we have got so much other false news. I'm beginning to think there's something more to this energy. The fact that that's been so quickly jumped on. So I want to kind of have a look at these energies today. I want to have a look at that to see how. See, immediately I'm hearing it's false, but I'm like, then my guides are saying it's not though. So I'm like, okay, interesting. There's something about, you've got to remember, there's a certain group of people that utilize planetary alignments to evolve energy and manifest. It's not just the spiritual people that do that. There's also a group of people that do this as well that are not so spiritual. Now you've got to remember the Mars is action. Mars is the planet of action, and the moon is the emotions. And the fact that this is going to be moon will be in Sagittarius, which is that planet of very future orientated energy. And Mars will be in Aries, which is the planet of the soldier, is the sign of the soldier. What revolutionary energy is potentially there for the taking? Because this is the thing. My opinion on this is that this is not false news. Now, I'm going to double check this with the cards, of course, because we want to fact check everything. I'm going to listen to my guides, of course. But my spidey senses immediately, when that got completely taken down after 3 seconds, I was like, no one is that effective. I'm seeing people calling people all kinds of names on Twitter. I'm seeing all kinds of horrific posts all over the internet. And that's the one, that's the one thing. So there's something here that's, especially if you've got listen, when you get 5 planets that are going into retrograde in this year, and then you get an alignment like that, I'm sorry, like, you'd have to be totally numb not to kind of look into that. Now, it's interesting because I don't know if you've been seeing this save the children thing that's been going around. I don't know if you've seen that. Lovely, love the sentiment. Think the sentiment's brilliant. Let's save all the children. But why is this getting such a huge draw based on those words of save the children? Why are we, again, it's that, like that, you know, can't breathe type of affirmation. Why do we need to put that kind of affirmation out there? First of all, that's, for me, if I wanted to say, you know, an energy that was going to really take off and that have like an affirmation behind it, I would say the children are safe, because then you're already, it's a present tense. We don't want to be manifesting this. But there's a lot of spiritual people that have jumped on the back of this and they're protesting, save the children, all this other stuff. Brilliant. I hope all the children are saved, and they should never have been in trouble to begin with, or vulnerable, or put in a position of danger to begin with. That should never have happened. But what are we being distracted from here? This is, again, maybe call me paranoid. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. But I want to check this, because this is the thing. This is my take on it. And if the cards prove me wrong, I'm happy to be proven wrong, because it means that, you know, I learned something. Hello, Patton, the Intel gamer. Hello, hope you're doing well, mate. There's a huge potential for manifestation here, okay? Because this is the thing. This is a precursor for January. when you've got all these planets important in this retrograde energy, what you're basically saying is you're preserving energy. And then when it goes direct, the energy is being released. And one of the last couple of days before energy kind of goes direct is around the end of August, when you've got obviously the moon in conjunction Mars, if you know, obviously appearing in the sky, whether or not that's true or not, we'll have a look. Then you've got Cupid going direct, remember, on the 29th, which is that kind of release of energy. And then again, you've then got Jupiter going direct on the 13th, and Jupiter is that expansive energy. So you've got a couple of weeks here before there's going to be this. It feels like a manifestation point. It feels like they're putting a dropper. It's like you're doing this kind of. Do you remember chemistry at school where you test with litmus paper and you'd see and you wait for the colour to go and you'd be sat there waiting for it, or you put it in the Bunsen burner and you just sit there waiting for it, and your teacher's saying go off and come back in 10 minutes and it'll be ready. This is the energy that's coming through here. I want to see what this is, because I don't know about you, but if I'm being told that this is fake news, great. Well, what's the real news? You know, if it is fake news, if it is false, if that energy is false, then my guys keep saying it's not. So my spidey senses are tingling here. I want to see what the reality is. We're going to use the Kipper deck. That one wanted to come out quickly. Yeah, see, I'm bad health. That's not the kind of energy. That's, to me, very low vibrational energy. If you happen to have a lot of spiritual people that were aware of this alignment and were utilizing it for positive, how powerful would that be? You know, we've got to be aware that there could be several different sides of the coin here. Let me just use the Lenormand here, because I want to dig into this, because I mean, whatever other messages come through, brilliant, but it was the fact that I posted on Instagram and within 3 minutes, in fact it wasn't even 3 minutes, it was flagged as false news. I was like, now you've messed up, because there's too much fake news out there. Now you've messed up, because now is this. See, look, this is when you're seeing the lilies. Now I'm going to be honest with you, the lilies, look, bottom of the deck, you got the mask. Something's awry here. Something is amiss. The lilies are, put it this way, the mask is something that is not quite legit, and the lilies are usually either there's, because look, we had the mature man and now we've got the lilies. So the lilies can imply an age gap, but it can also imply, I mean, they're funeral flowers, right? So there's something here in this energy that you've got to remember. If you look at the alchemists, and let's say there are a body of people that will utilize the planets in an unfavorable way, okay? And yeah, look, underneath that you've got the clouds. This is let me just keep digging here. Let's see what else they're going to show us. So I mean, by all means, maybe it's lucky. Yeah, look, there's a man behind this, and you've got a broom here. There's something, it's reversed. It's like, in fact, no, it's upright. This is the whip. So there's this controlling energy here immediately that I'm getting. It's very restrictive energy. And I'll be honest with you, it's not the planets, it's manufactured. This is the energy I'm picking up. Now, you may look at the cards and go, oh, no, I'm not getting that. That's fine. You interpret them however way you wish to. But for me, loyalty. Dog, loyalty. So what I want you to do is have a look around that date, the 27th, and around that date for any energy that is trying to sell an idea that you feel could be against. Because look, we've got the fishes here. This is money. There's something about money here, but it's someone's trying to put an idea into practice, or someone's trying to put an idea into practice that is a controlled effort. Moon hidden, there's a timing behind it and communication. Yeah, and then we've got the scythe. There's going to be some falsified information, but it won't be on the 27th. It'll be a few days afterwards, but it'll be deliberately designed. And I'll be honest with you, it's based on the energy. They're utilizing that energy. All you need to do is be a very good sorcerer or into the dark arts and start manifesting on that day. If you're silly enough to do that, you know, if you're that unevolved enough to be able to want to do that kind of thing and control things, then that's, so this is the energy I'm picking up on, which is why I want to, let me keep digging here. Let me keep digging this because I feel like I'm a dog with a bone at the moment. Let's see what else comes out. Let's go with the Cosmic Tarot. So, Spirit, what is it you can tell us here about this situation for us? Because obviously, you know, or anything else that's relevant. What else do we need to be aware of here? What exactly is the reality with this? What's going on, please? Because you wanted me to look into this. I sat down with my 6,000 notebooks today because I was like, there's something going on here. So let's see what the guys want to bring forward. And when I hear things like this is not yours to tell, I'm like, it's not up to me to tell this. Okay. She says as she keeps shuffling. Okay. Yeah, I'm not liking this energy. I'm going to be really honest with you. I don't know about anyone else, but on the 27th, I'm going to be doing a manifest meditation, which I do every day anyway. But I'm going to be making a concerted effort on the 27th to... Now, they're talking about it being around the early hours at sort of midday, roughly, even though apparently it's fake news. I think I'm going to be using affirmations. Gremlins in the grease. What do you mean? In what way? Yeah, look, Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. Someone's trying to stop something from getting through. Now, I'm being shown all kinds of things here. Right, let me try and break this down so it's... I mean, I think we can assume that that would be politically, yeah. What about us? What about us? I just had this conversation with one of my friends, actually, who's in... Oh, my goodness me. Right, let me just tune into this energy here. Now, this is the thing. There's something about a timeline on this, around this day, that, okay, has anyone been feeling the massive amount of energy? We've had a, I think it was like a coronary mass injection. A coronary mass injection. Now, that's probably why I was sleeping for like 20 million hours a day. So if you've been feeling drained, needing to sleep more, a lot of sort of upgrade energy, obviously listen to your body first of all. But it feels like we're slowly moving into some other energy past this kind of full moon. All this, you know, once all these energies caught up with the Lion's Gate, because don't forget, the Lion's Gate is supposed to have closed around the 25th. And then suddenly this energy is being spoken about. Now, they're trying to, I'm going to be honest with you, they're trying to manifest on that day. I'm not going any more into that because there's several million reasons why I'm not going to. What is the point of, I mean, what does it do for me to tell you everything about that? I don't know. I think it's just going to cause more panic if I do. I don't think that's helpful. I think we need to look at more specifics. So in terms of us, there's definitely someone's going to get found out doing something though. But my suggestion is that on that day, the 27th, mark it in your diaries to be extra mindful of what you're putting out there. So if, for example, you know you're having a particularly bad day, we're making an extra effort because there's something about it. There's a manifestation. They're trying to manifest here, and it's not a positive manifestation that's being evolved, especially if the whole of them all the kind of social media is being shut out of it. And then this save the children thing, which is so massively focused on at the moment. And I'm sorry if anyone follows QAnon. I'm probably not the channel for you. If you do, if you're massively an advocate of QAnon or any of that other stuff, because it's a psyop, in case you hadn't already guessed, and it's definitely falsified information. They give you 10% truth and 90% lies. What do you mean? Can we put the shutdown on this? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. What shut down what? What do you want me to shut? I mean, look, I'm not the government, so I'm not going to be able to shut anything down, but energetically stop it. I mean, that would be manipulation, though, wouldn't it, of energy? So no, we can't. The one thing you can do is to do I mean, affirmations. So, because this is the thing, you've got a freaking load of people wandering around talking about saving the children. Worst affirmation I've ever heard. Worst freaking affirmation, because it's not a good energy. It's the same as I can't breathe. It's the same as that, and people are buying. And this is the thing, I'm seeing all kinds of spiritual groups buying into this and not the real stories. So my suggestion is, if you're seeing things on social media that look like a manifestation that are not particularly positive, we do a counter manifestation, which would be an affirmation, which is the children are safe. And if you're seeing things like, I don't know, people promoting a manifestation that looks like it is not particularly positive, you do an affirmation and you send it upstairs. You send it all upstairs, make a very conscious decision to send that upstairs. The problem we've got is that unless I sit and spend the next X amount of days pumping out, in fact, let me break this down. I've got a plan of how I can do this and make some kind of shift, but I'm not technical enough to do it. That's my problem. If I had someone with a lot of technical expertise, then I definitely would be able to do something. But they keep telling me it's not my job to do. This is the other problem. And if that's being told by my guides, then there's a reason. And 9 times out of 10, this is going to sound awful, but this is a lesson. Like, people, my awareness is starting to become the fact that until the majority of people become aware of these kind of energies, we're limited. Now, that's a terrible way of putting it. And I don't really wish to put it out there like that, but we can only focus in on you. Focus back in on you, because if you're looking to this external and that's what it's looking like, control what you can control your own life, look at your own inner circumstances, your own life, and focus in on that, because the more you're in alignment with you, that's probably going to help more than anything. Which is why I don't like looking at these things, because it's drawing you away from everything you need to be focusing on, you know. And at some point this is going to end, but it involves a lot of people waking up, and at the moment people are scared. They don't want to do that because it means there's they're programming, everything that they've relied on is false, and that's horrible to be aware of. Just focus on you, because that's something you can control, you know. Now obviously some people's sort of own individual task and own individual movement forward will be very specifically against that, and that you'll be having, I keep eating ice cream. My favorite is cookies and cream. What else do I eat? I absolutely love fish and chips. What else do I eat? Let me think. Chips and mayonnaise is usually something else I enjoy. What else do I like eating? I like milkshakes. I'll have bubblegum ice cream milkshake and also banana milkshake. What else are my favorites here? I really like birthday cake ice cream. Let me see what else I enjoy eating as well. I mean, that's it for now. I mean, I could probably do you a list every week if I'm totally honest with you, because it changes. I do love my food. So yeah, I mean, my choice is be very skinny or not eat. And sorry, but I'm on earth at the moment, so I choose to have the physical sometimes as well. It's called a nice balance. So we've got a 3 of Swords here. Okay, so we have to focus on what it is we can control. We have to focus on what it is we can control. All right. And at the moment, if that energy is being manifested, then we manifest for ourselves. We manifest for our own life. Now, Sagittarius moon, Mars in Aries, you can do some absolute cracking energy type of work on that day, if I'm totally honest with you. Now, what I'm going to say is that the effects of this is going to be showing from October, November time up until sort of January. This is all what we're preparing for, what we're kind of, we're sowing the kind of planes here, we're sowing the field ready for the next stages. Now, the fact that it won't happen again until 2287, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. Yeah, same here. I want all of it as well. Now I'm zoning out into thinking about pizza, if I'm if I'm totally honest with you. Princess of Swords. That's me getting rid of Arby. That's me eating my pizza and loving life. All right. Any other questions? No, Princess of Swords is truth. Okay, so just see what you can do. Anything where you're, you know, if you've got a sort of a personal, if you've got, don't get me started. He got away lightly. He got away lightly. I'd have eaten him alive if he'd have been face to face with me. He'd have been ripped apart. Oh no, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm a Taurus, mate. This is, I mean, to be honest with you. Hello, Khaled. I'm going to be honest with you, Khaled. If you're new here, I'm just going to give you a little warning. If you're tempted to start trolling in here, one person has already been walked in with that agenda and is no longer here. So just FYI, please be aware that you're more than welcome to stay here. But if you're going to start trolling, we're going to be removing you. And I may not be pleasant this time. You don't do troll. So this is me with my little kestrel. I'm joking. Okay, so this is Princess of Swords. This is truth. Okay, this is insight, information. So I'm going to be really honest with you. There's going to be a lot of information coming to light here. Hello, Alexandra. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining us. And Khalid, I hope you're doing well as well. Thank you so much for joining us. There's a lot of information that's going to be coming to light. Some of it that people are not going to want to listen to, and some of it is going to be a lot more. The Ace of Cups. This is a release, and this is truth. This is pure. I mean, this is pure truth here. Princess of Swords, Ace of Cups. This is also head over heart. There's going to be. I mean, this was kind of the reading we're doing. This is what we're doing now. Yeah. Well, you're in the middle of it. Can you see above this cup here? You've got a lot of. This is a very high manifestation energy, right? But there's a lot of things coming to light over the coming weeks and months, and it's going to be kickstarted around this time now. I don't know why, but I'm seeing a lot of things that are like older stuff coming out. Older things. You know, like previous information that would have been not exposed to the public or given to the public. You know what I mean? That kind of thing would have been starting to slowly become public knowledge or being released. In fact, a lot of it's already been released. Khaled, this is a general collective reading. You're in the reading. We're not, if you want a personalized reading, okay, talking about energy, definitely there's an energy shift today. Right, Khaled, we're doing a general collective reading. If you want a personalized reading, the information is in the description box, or just above your comment, my email address is there. You can email me for a personalized reading. This reading is for everyone. Hopefully that's answered your question. I'm not even going to start talking because I already know there's going to be another line. Someone's going to ask something else. There's a lot of, I'm going to be honest with you, there's a lot of confusion coming up here because we've got the Prince of Wands. Prince of Wands is, there's going to be contradicting energy. There's going to be a heck of a lot of contradicting energy here. What do you want to believe? It's interesting. Do you know, it's really, I feel really, it's like at school when you know you're being told something that isn't quite adding up, and then because the whole class is sat there staring at you and you're like, no, but that doesn't make sense, and then you're the one that's being asked to leave the class because you're disrupting the class, but actually what you're telling them is fact. It's that, because whatever they're doing, they're putting out lots of contradicting energy to confuse people. So they're giving the truth, and the truth will be released, and then they'll be given 5,000 other contradictory energies to make everyone confused. That's essentially what this energy is. What Spirit is saying is the reason that this is happening and the reason they're not going to block it is because this is for the people to discern with their intuition. The fact that this isn't even happening and allowed to happen is because this is to let people into their awakening. This is the start of people's awakening, that they have no idea what this is, but it's like a training ground. The kind of Spirit is saying, you didn't choose to learn this before, now you're going to have to hit the ground running, you know. So this is going to be really important. Now, if I'm going to be honest with you, I mean, this is the thing, this is why it's super important to have mastered this energy within you and what you're doing. Because I'm going to be honest with you, if you're still confused, or if you're still not entirely sure of where you're going with this, pull your energy back now and get this. This is why I'm talking about this now, because it's like we're going into another rabbit hole now, and it's not like the one we've come out of. This is like where everyone's confused, and then you're the one going, yeah, but it's this one, and then everyone's going, no, but the sky is red, and you're like, no, the sky's blue. And they're like, no, sky's red, and you're like, okay, cool. Believe what you want to believe, and it's going to be like that. They're just saying, pay no notice to that. Focus on you. If people aren't listening to you or whatever, you're just, if there's a distinct difference in wavelengths, go back to it. Go back to it, because at some point they'll ask you about it, is my experience. And what they'll do is at some point they'll say, oh, it's really weird, I was thinking about what you were saying, and that's actually happened now. And it's like, okay, cool. So this is the thing, if you're around people that are not seeing these things, don't take it personally. It's just they're in this kind of it sounds awful, but it's like this is the beginning of it, and they haven't really, we're already in it, and it's like people aren't really getting, it's like people going, oh, you're getting a bit chubby, Jale. Yes, I'm eating, mate. Like, what do you want me to say? It's called having a physical body and eating food. So yeah, can you see here with this Princess of Swords? This is swords. This is the mind. Okay, the mind. This is what we're used to utilizing. Can you see the sun is covered by the clouds, right? With the bird, right? So that's confusion. We saw the clouds in the previous card. Confusion, things are not entirely shown, but can you see the wands is this fire energy? It's more of a spark, okay, but he's got the sun in the background, which is illumination. He's awoken. There's an energy of awakening. Now in the middle is the cup, the Ace of Cups, which is the heart center. It's the difference between it being closed and being open. It's difference between being closed and being open. This is the awakening. That card is the awakening, and it's being done. Don't forget, we're in Gemini North Node. It's being done with information, because again, the South Node is Sagittarius. South Node Sagittarius is all about, well, Sagittarius is all in South, in any energy is about the philosophical of the higher learning. So the lesson, South Node, which is always the lesson or something that you need to evolve from, is moving out of what was taught, because it's also about higher education. This is, you can't sit and read. I mean, you can read a book, but a lot of it is to tap into that source directly, and that's to get the call of information or the chain of information down, Gemini being the information. But because Gemini is a mental sign, again, swords, confusion, that's why we're in this energy. This is what the next, I mean, we're in this energy for the next year and a half. We've still got another year and a half roughly of Gemini North Node. But this is essentially what it's giving people, is it's training people to understand false, especially when they have little to no experience of using the intuition. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, if I'd spoken so openly about this 10 years ago, I would have had all kinds of dodgy messages told to me. And, you know, I mean, I've had them, but they're nowhere near as often as I used to get. And in fact, often now, what happens is the most randomest people that you would never expect to ever invest in this kind of information will hit me up, and I'm talking like bruisers, you know, like that are a man's man, that are, I'll give you an example. So a friend who, I mean, he was a friend. I've known him as a friend, and then he started getting readings. Big bruiser guy, you know, real kind of man's man, who turned around to me one day after my reading I gave him, because obviously I do read for him, and yes, he is okay with me sharing this. He said, "Oh, I was. You said I was really well protected, and X, Y, and Z would happen." Well, it did. I got punched in the middle of when I was driving somewhere, and if I hadn't have been punched in the face, it would have been a bad idea, because I fell asleep at the wheel. And I was like, I mean, first of all, I was relieved, because I was like, well, I'm kind of glad that they did wake you up. I mean, ideally, it wouldn't needed to be a punch, but apparently you needed it. And he was like, oh no, I definitely needed that. And I was like, and this is someone that was never invested in that, and that's happening now. So you've got to remember, on a mass scale, this is happening, but not everyone is going to have that kind of experience. You know what I mean? Sometimes it depends on their soul lesson, and it depends on how many times, what their background is, and what, you know, you got to look at the entirety. So, but this is an information war on information, essentially. Now, if people are already asking about it, again, you choose how you want to do this. But if people admit, so the first thing you want to know is are they reading the signs correctly? Because that's another thing. If people are reading the signs wrong, we're going in a loop, right? But if it's even more basic than that, then just start a dialogue with them. Just start openly discussing it. Because even I'll be real honest with you, even my mum's, I can tell, is interested. Even my mum, and that when that happens, and even my sister is even starting to talk about it, and I'm like, oh yeah, all right, okay, so this is the conversation you want to have now, is it? She's like, well, I was like, oh, you're just gonna ask, are you now? Okay. So now I'm like, okay, this is interesting, because it's everywhere at the moment, because people are being paused, and it's like, what else do you do? If you're being shown reruns of a news channel that's churning out the same nonsense, what else is there? There's always something else, of course. As people that are invested in this kind of information, we know that. But people are starting to see that, and we're going to see more and more of that. So when the majority gets to a position where they're invested more in this kind of the balance between the spiritual and the physical, because that's essentially what is the aim, is that we're not just purely physical. We're not just eating fish and chips and ice cream. We're doing a bit of the spiritual and also the physical, because that would be a balance, an equal balance. And it happens to be a passion of mine, in fact, because I love my food. Then we know, because it's going to cause a ripple effect, because when the majority awaken or become aware, this is when our energy shifts, and as a planet we're ascending. This is the ascension. They're calling it the Great Awakening. I mean, look, we're not in a novel here. This is real life, and it can be particularly harrowing. So if people want to dramatize it as if they're in a movie, that's up to them. But it's the ascension, essentially. It's the event, whatever people have been egging this on as, and freaking building up the 144,000 light workers, whatever tagline that they chose to put on it, which my guide's like bullshit. whatever kind of energy they're attaching to it that they want to build it into, I'm not going to, you know, it's up to them. But this is essentially bringing truth. This is truth. Light worker means light is truth. It's not the fuzzy stuff and we're farting rainbows. This is truth we're bringing. We're hearing, we're understanding. This is the entirety of the truth. And it's not just the truth as it's being presented. And then we've got to sit and go, yeah, that's the truth. It's feeling it. It's understanding it. It's a different perspective. It's an evolution of truth. Because don't forget, we've relied on truth from what people have told us. We've been programmed with truth. We've grown up in families and they've told us to believe a certain way, or we go into school and we believed a certain thing, and we believed and we're programmed, and we're in this kind of uniform, and we're in this, you know, lack of identity in a school, you know, because that's what they do, don't they? They kind of combine everyone into the same. That was never going to work for me, FYI. That was never going to work for me. And you already know my story about when I used to run away from school at age 5. And then it just got worse from then on in. I'm still famous at my school. Yeah, because I used to do all kinds of stuff, which I'm definitely not going to admit to on this channel. So, because it wasn't particularly good, but I made my point. It was like a protest. Anyway, so this is about information and reality combining. It's not just when we're sitting astral traveling in our dream state, and then we're combining, we're in this, again, this is transition to 5th dimensional energy, but as a whole. So again, people used to go, oh, you know, what's going to happen to the people that don't understand this whole evolution? Are they going to be separated onto a different planet? And I'm just like, now I'm trying to be sensible with the responses to when people ask me this, but I'm like, they can't even organize freaking the supply chain of toilet roll. What makes you think they're going to get, and especially during this pandemic, because obviously it was done deliberately to create fear. Obviously we know that, but some people don't. What makes you think they're going to, do you know what I mean? Yeah, so let's have a look. I digress. Queen of Wands. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy, but this is warrior energy. This is the alpha energy, and it's not like some egoic, like, oh, you know, this is truth. This is empowerment, but it's not, it's an evolution of the Prince of Wands. It's like you've mastered that awareness of, this is the ideal. This is not to say, yeah, we're here and we're perfect. It's like the more focus we put into this, and again, that's why they're referencing finely tuning and drawing the energy back to the self, because it's going to really help with this. Look, bottom of the deck, the Tower. So that, because at some point there is going to be, oh, please tell me no, I'm not going to say that, because I don't want to preempt that, and I don't want to manifest it. I'm not going to say that. Yeah, my guides are in agreement. Focus on the self. That's the best way of doing it. But there is going to be at some point little information tests. It sounds weird, but 9 of Cups, manifestation. I don't know why, but she's looking. The cups are covered. This one's open. Can you see this one's the truth? This cup is open. And there's a very clear manifestation here. Can you see all these cups here are closed off? I'm hearing potential. There's great potential. This is like the ideal potential. Because, and this is the thing, once you're out of that stage, because it's like an evolution, anything, because this is the thing, energy, abundance is, I mean, if you're understanding how to use and, you know, work through information, you're halfway there to being able to be manifesting what you want, if not entirely there, especially in this Queen of Wands energy, because this is the divine feminine or divine masculine in the raw form. And obviously with the fire energy, the Wands energy, this is the spark of that new spark, isn't it? which is what manifestation needs. So it's like they're leading us into an energy where you're not going to need for anything because you're going to just manifest it, and the time won't be an issue because there won't be time, if that makes any sense. I wrote something else down. I know this was going to come up. So I was listening to the guides earlier because they were asking me to write all this stuff down, and I was talking about, because at the moment, August 29th, we've got current Cupid will go direct, then we've got the Moon, Jupiter, and Cupid all in conjunction, right? So, and then August the 30th, Cupid goes direct, and then you've got that is conjunct Jupiter, and that goes into retrograde. So you've got this kind of energy of, well, okay, guides. The guides are saying movement. Yeah, I mean, can you give me a bit more information there than just movement? Because I don't know if I kind of gathered that one. I kind of gathered that the movement would be there. It's interesting because, so the way they're showing it to me, this is how they're showing it to me, right? Cupid is obviously this, it's a charge of energy, isn't it? Cupid. It's that spark or that charge of energy. They shoot the bow, don't they? You get hit by Cupid. You're hit by that kind of energy, right? But if it's around the Moon and Jupiter, the Moon is the emotions and Jupiter is expansion. And then obviously it moves past Jupiter closer to kind of Saturn and Pluto. There's something about a timing thing here, but it's like, this is in Capricorn, and then suddenly the Moon goes into Aquarius, which is that, again, future orientated energy. When I was looking at this energy, my guides were like, it's the birthplace of time that's being challenged. And I was like, okay. Because obviously, if you think about it, we're the third dimension, we're in, we're in a time-based reality, aren't we? It's very clearly, our time is we're very aware of our time, aren't we? And it's something that was measured. But it's interesting because birthplace of time is in Greenwich Meridian line, which is at 0 degrees, where the west meets the east, right? And then get this, Royal Greenwich Observatory, which was aligned to be coordinated with universal time. Why is it the royal? Why? And this is the thing, the timing, how time was designed was molded by someone. And so we're moving out of that. This is what this all is leading into. We're moving out of that. And obviously the fifth dimension doesn't have time. Am I losing people here, by the way? Before I start rabbiting on. Time, energy is fluid. Time is an illusion. We're given pinpoints of time because it's what we've been taught. That's how we've been taught it, and it's this, as it's old tale as old as time. I mean, we have Disney songs that reflect that. It's a measurement. Stay in the rabbit hole. Listen, Cindy, I live in the rabbit hole. I live in the rabbit hole until I come out for my fish and chips and then get slated on the internet for eating fish and chips. Yeah, give me a break, man. I want to eat my ice cream. My birthday cake ice cream is literally one of my favorites. And I'm sorry, but you can't be perfect, all right? So, you can't be perfect. What else do you want from me? Now, do you remember that eclipse? I think it was in 2017. It was in August 2017, where it was traveling from Oregon up until through transitioning across America into North Carolina. Do you remember that? Yeah, exactly, man. I'm a Venus and Taurus. Listen, I've got 2 Taurus brothers, a whole family that loves food, and also I've got a freaking physical body. What do you want me to do? If I was in the spirit world, obviously I'm not going to be able to eat birthday cake ice cream. So just give me a break. Yeah, exactly. Everyone loves food. Everyone loves food. I just happen to be built where if I eat food, I need to work out 15 times harder. So, do you remember the 2017 eclipse that transitioned from Oregon through North Carolina? When that was transitioning through, when that was closing, Alexandra, yeah, I'm not surprised. When that was transitioning through Bethlehem, which is obviously, we know the kind of the law about Bethlehem, the sun was rising as the sun was going down, and there was that eclipse over in America, and that was the birthplace of time, wasn't it? The actual birthplace of time, if you're going on traditional kind of viewpoints. So the 2017, this was marking it, and we've been having marker points ever since. Because everyone's like, oh, when's the age of Aquarius? When's the age of Pisces going to, when's the age of Aquarius going to begin? Because the age of Aquarius would mark that kind of spiritual journey. It's here. It's just that we've been transitioning into it slowly but surely. And now, because everyone's a little bit, this is the point where everyone's like, oh, okay, maybe we are in this. It's like, yeah, we have been in it for a while. Everyone in my family is Taurus, sister, father, niece, brother, in-law, surrounded. I get it. I mean, my sun is at 0 degrees Taurus, so obviously I've got a lot to learn. Do you know what I mean? In terms of the Taurus, being a Taurus. I mean, yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. I mean, yes, it is what it is. So let's have a look. King of Swords, truth. I don't know why, but I'm hearing dishonesty here. There's going to be so much coming out. Oh my goodness. The traditional authority roles are going to be totally challenged. Oh wow. My mouth is watering you saying about the chocolate. I bought I love Aries mint chocolate. Aero mint chocolate. And that was my treat I bought. Oh my goodness, seriously. I was like, when I had my shopping in, oh my goodness, that chocolate, it's literally my favorite chocolate bar. Someone's an Aries here. I keep getting really strong Aries energy. So, no, I know what this is. This is where Mars is going direct, going in retrograde on the 9th of September. Look at around the 9th of September for this truth, because again, Mars in Aries is this energy, but there's some truth coming out that's maybe not as I mean, again, it's going to be like this falsified. It's the same as what we were talking about on that ladies' night reading when I said around the 12th, but it was the 10th when there was that kind of news. Oh my goodness, like Trump did this, and actually it was. Oh my goodness, sugar cookies. That sounds really good. I'm not gonna lie. What is that? What is sugar cookies? Now I want sugar cookies. Yum. Yeah, they're just talking about this is the age of information. 8 of Wands. Movement, very fast movement, a lot of information coming in. There's going to be more challenges on the information. I'm going to be really honest with you. This is where it gets to me, where I'm like, I really feel like I have the best plan of action, but I know for a fact the reason why my guys don't want me to do this is because they're like, you've got to let people learn, Jale. There's got to be a way of letting people, yeah. Because this is a lot of what they do is there's a lot of bots on the internet that are definitely not real people that will spout the same propaganda. So just be aware of that. If you're don't enter into an argument with them, because they'll keep you on social media for like years. Do you know what I mean? So if you keep kind of running into a bot, and Twitter, they're everywhere, and Facebook. I mean, to be honest with you, yes. Like, yeah. I mean, look, I'm going to be really honest with you. So, oh, how deep do I go with this? So, if you're in England and you've been, because obviously in England we were told that we won the World War, and we were told all of our English heritage in school, the history books, as per what they think we would want to hear. And then you go abroad, especially as a, someone that's got a Turkish heritage, and you go abroad and then everyone's telling you the reality of where you come from, and you're like, oh shit. And then you go back to school and you're like, yeah, but what about this? And then everyone's going, shh, no, you're disrupting the class. But this is what I'm trying to say. It's lies. We definitely didn't. It was all orchestrated. It's the same situation that we're seeing, but on a different freaking generational level. That's it. It was the same people that are trying to manipulate things now. We didn't win. The royal family got their feet under the table here because, again, they're German, aren't they? Right. So the deal was made. Same deal as now when you're going to see the royal family. Remember that prediction I made on the channel where I was talking, if you've the people that saw me making that prediction where we're not going to have the same royal family, royal family are going to go. I mean, they've already shut Buckingham Palace. That hasn't been reported. They're telling everyone it's in for repair work and cleaned. Harry's disappeared to America. You know what I mean? Like, what does that tell you? So there's so much going on here, but the pandemic is one element of what that's being presented, but it's not the reality. It's not the reality. There's more to it. So Tinina, it depends on what you're used to hearing. If you're used to hearing, I'm hearing a lot of the JFK stuff will come out that was never, ever heard. That's going to be an interesting one. There's just this vault being unlocked, basically. This is the thing. Legally, they cannot withhold the information. So what they used to do, originally they would just lie, but obviously it's got to the point where they can't anymore. So they'll put a lot of false information out with the truth. Now we started seeing that, but it's going to get more and more obvious that this is total lie. You were told USA won the war. Yeah, we were told in England. And this is what makes me sad about that, is my granddad fought in that war, and I love my granddad. He drove a tank in the Second World War. He drove a Matilda, and he's written war diaries that are in war museums. I mean, to be honest with you, it's probably a good thing you're not focused on it, because there's definitely other things that we could be doing. But there's so much more to this. Okay, let me give you the insight. Okay, so there's a guy I know who's an actor. When this story first broke, he was mysteriously changing his job and turned into a travel agent, right? And I was like, you're not a travel agent. What is going on? Suddenly the pandemic hit, and he's a travel agent that happened to go on a cruise that was struck by the pandemic. And he was locked in, right? Now, he did live readings. He actually was not live readings. He was doing lives from the boat right now. Because I was on his Facebook, I was observing this going, something's not right. Something's not right. This is not this. Listen, you're a great actor and all, but something's not right. There's something is not right here. And yeah, then we suddenly saw these videos coming out of Wuhan where people were dropping down and getting all ill. And then, fast forward to here, where we're in a Brexit deadline, where the contracts for our imports are not only not negotiated, but there's also a shortage of food because of the fact that where we're importing from actually can't send the food out because they're in local lockdowns. Or with a lot of the growers and the farmers and the people that pick the fruit and veg have been forced to go back to their European countries. There's a warehouse full of food. I'm talking to people that are aware of the supply chain and how it works. And I'm hearing that there's warehouses full of food that aren't being delivered from because it's a backup in case Brexit goes wrong. And I'm like, thanks. So you just told me everything I need to know. And then I'm speaking to someone that works for Waitrose, which is a supermarket. Hey, JK, I do remember you. Yeah, and who was very adamant that the supply but demand wasn't affected. And I'm like, well, they are, because we don't have any food here. Like, flour's not here, you know. So, but every country would have had a different agenda with that. For England, that was the deadline came and went while we're in lockdown. So anyone could have challenged the Brexit decision. And if you look into what actual Brexit is about, it's a tax haven for people that don't pay taxes. It's for them to keep money. It's like Singapore. They can keep their money without anyone questioning them where that money's from. Whereas the European laws would have dictated for them to explain where their money was. So this is essentially why people, you know, the elite wanted Brexit, because it means they can hide their money without having any challenge rules or anyone challenging them. And if you want to hear more information on that, there's a YouTube video called the $1 trillion con, and I think it's actually done by Stephen Fry, and he'll talk you into every area of that because he's the one that outed it. But yeah, that's why when we're in lockdown, you're not going to be able to challenge a Brexit decision, are you? So that's that, really. Every country's different, and obviously America, you guys have got an election coming up, politically led. Seven of Swords, theft. I wonder why that is. Moon, hidden, something hidden. Can you see she's got her cloak? She's hiding something. They're hiding something. Oh God, here we go. I've got kids here. No more, please. Oh my God. Hanged Man. The Queen of Swords. There is so much information going to come out here. There's a woman. Someone's going to get hauled over the hot coals here that I feel like you're not going to expect. There's a lot of freaking information coming out. Well, let's see what else we can get. They're talking about, because I don't know if you, hello Kasana, thank you for joining us. Donald Trump's younger brother passed away, didn't he? He outed quite a lot on his Twitter. I don't know if you would have seen that, but there was a lot of information that he came out with on his Twitter that was mysteriously deleted, and then he passed. There's a woman, there's something politically with a woman that I don't know if there's a woman that's going to kind of suddenly pop up and run for the election or be politically linked. It could be Hillary, I don't know. It might not be. I'm trying to tap into who this is, but I feel like they're this is the King of Cups. Feels like I'm getting all kinds of weird energies. I'm not gonna lie. This is wow. Okay. Yeah, we're not going into that rabbit hole. There's no way I'm getting into the rabbit hole. Let's pick a different deck. It's basically more information coming out about royal family and the American political system that is going to tie the two countries together. And I'm not touching that with a barge pole, because I'm going to be another hour if I get into that, because that's not even a 3-minute kind of thing. That's like an hour video type scenario, and we know what happens when we do that. I'm not getting into that. No way. Put it this way. Use discernment whenever you're listening to reading anything, listening to anything. Use discernment. And the less you're, to be honest with you, I feel like that energy is just a time-wasting energy, in my opinion. It's distraction. Like, it's very easy for me to tap into that energy, but for me, I feel like it's leading you in the opposite direction where you need to go. if I'm totally honest with you, because it's, why do we need to know that? It's going to be outed anyway. It's going to come out at some point. We don't need to control that kind of thing. It's going to be here, you know. It doesn't need to happen. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Maybe I won't shuffle while I'm talking about that, because that card, look at the card that came out. Evil Queen. You deserve sugar, not salt. Lovely. But really, really lovely energy. I mean, this is the thing, exactly why I'm not going to go into it. I don't think everything's going to be okay, first of all. Spirit have got this more under control than people are going to think, right? This is about us moving into a better area. You've got to remember, there's, to get to the point where we want to get to, everything has to come up, because you cannot build on rocky foundations. So if there's loads of secrets, they're not going to just be like, da-da, we're in the fifth dimension. It just means things have to come up first. And if the collective aren't wanting to look at that, then there's going to be a resistance, a push and pull. And all you can do is just focus on you and hand it up to spirit, because they have got it more under control than you think. All right. Which is why when you're sort of, people are saying, oh, what should I do? Focus on you. Focus on you. It's meant to show you what this is about, not focus so heavily on it that that's the only thing you can focus on, because it's supposed to give a context as to why you're here. Now, maybe that's the issue. Maybe you don't know why you're here, you know. Maybe that's the real issue, is you're not sure why you're here, so you're worrying about that. Because if that were, I'll be really honest with you, if it's designed to create fear, which is why I don't want to focus on it too much. That's what it's designed to do, to keep you in a low enough vibration where you can't view the truth. That's what this is all about, so that you're so suppressed that you can't see what is the reality. So this is why I don't want to go into that energy, because it's not promoting what spirit are promoting, you know. Princess, you can be your own knight. This is about us standing on our own 2 feet. We've been in a system of control, and this is about a liberation. Now, you don't just liberate yourself. It's like we've been in this freaking slave energy where our master, you know, is now, that's crumbling. The paradigm is crumbling. And so now everyone's like lemmings, like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Now, this is why it's important to just take it a day at a time. It's not, to be really honest with you, I'm going to be totally honest with you, I'd rather go through all this knowing what's to come than to stay in that old energy, because that was awful. For me, I'm happy to take it. It sounds awful, but I'm talking from experience. I would rather go through this knowing what's to come than to stay in that previous energy, because it wasn't serving anyone. It was creating falsehood. It wasn't real. None of it was real. And you would have seen that. You would have seen people that you'd have spoken to where the eyes are glazing over when you even dip into something that is a little bit kind of controversial, and it's because they're not used to hearing anything like that. So now the information's getting churned out. People are overloaded because they're like, oh my goodness, what do I believe? So my advice is, and the guide's advice is get in touch with yourself. Use your meditation time, use your self-care time to reconnect, focus on what it is you need to understand, and connect with your spirit team, because that is going to be, and like the previous message I said last time, focus on the channel, on the direct contact that you have with your spirit team. Now, you may at this moment in time think, oh, well, I don't know if they're there or not. You will. You keep at it and you keep focused on this, and you know, you can dip in and out of it, because don't forget, it's also important not to just pretend nothing's happening either, because that's giving it power. We have to be balanced. So if we're taking a look and we're trying to understand the context of it, it helps us, but we're not solely focused on that. To understand the bigger picture, we can understand our own, investments and what we're supposed to be doing. But it's a balance. It's about a whole, a recalibration of everything. But you would have come into contact with people who were very happy to sit in their 9-to-5 job and to not question anything, and to sit in front of a TV for like however many hours after that, and just let the TV explain to them what they need to know, and then go to bed and do the whole thing again. And if that's something that you were doing, then, you know, I did that at one point, but it was freaking miserable. So, you know, this is why I stick to what I say. If this is what Spirit had in mind to get us through this, I would rather do this knowing that at some point the breakthrough is going to be so glorious. Because, you know, guys, if you meditate, it's like when you wake up from a beautiful dream and you get to the reality and you're like, oh my goodness, am I here again? You're like, oh, because your sleep is better than the reality. That's not good either, you know. And so they have to bring the reality into this alignment as well, because, you know, a lot of spiritual people were becoming very disassociated with everything because it just wasn't in alignment with them. So that we're bridging the gap here, and to bridge the gap, we're having to take a lot of people into consideration. So don't get bogged down with I mean, look, focus on you. That's the important message. Focus on you. And try and identify your own mission and why you're here. That would be my focus, you know, because this is the thing. Doing Big Brother, the focus is your mind and you reevaluating everything. When I came out of Big Brother, I went full-time in this business, because it gives you so much time to think, and I didn't have the internet. This is what this time lockdown, on a non-spiritual level, it was designed by political people to make people feel like they were covering things up so people weren't going to kind of understand it. On a spiritual level, this was designed to help people connect with themselves so that they can understand what it is they're doing moving forward. That was the design. That's why do you think Spirit entertained this? They're not, they're trying to help. This is again, I get it. Don't forget, we're in a dualistic reality. We're not in 5D yet, where spirit are like here and everyone's in alignment. We still have this physical and spiritual seesaw that we're trying to balance, which is why this was evolving the way it did and what it has done. And I'll tell you something, when I first heard that, there was something inside me. I've never heard a click so loud in my life, where I was like, all I heard was, this is it. And literally, I'm not joking you, I disconnected from everyone. I was in the middle of like my social life. Was all I was like, connecting with people and blah blah blah. I was still doing the channel, but my goodness, when I heard that news, I was like, down tools. This has to be my, and that's when I started doing the lives, because I was like, I get it, Spirit, I'm on it. Because if ever there was ever a call, oh my goodness, it was like my gut, I'd gone into fifth gear. I felt it. It was insane. So you are also going to be led in that way and feeling out where they're trying to lead you. Trust that. That's why it's important to connect and listen to the signs and stuff, and slow down. If you haven't already, slow down. If you're doing 1,000 miles an hour trying to move forward, slow down. Because yeah, look, morning, the world awaits you. Can you see they're just getting out of bed here? Listen, this energy at the moment, I'm going for an upgrade, and I'm like, I feel like I've been hit in the stomach with a baseball bat. Do you know what I mean? The energy is like super lethargic energy right now. And homeward. Take yourself out on a date. So this is about looking after yourself. Look, can you see she's at home? She's not, this is rest. Look, take stock, take heed. This is not gallivanting. She's not sat on like surfing into the ocean. She's processing, or he's processing. Yeah. Right, let's pick another deck, because we're going in loops with these cards. Right, let's have a look. Let's go with the Divine Doors. Doesn't that look like a certain political front door that we know in England? Inner power, by your own command, you brought yourself here, and at this moment in life, you have nothing to fear. Thank you, guys. So if anyone was ever at any point still concerned with these messages, there's nothing to be afraid of except fear itself. The greatest The greatest secret ever told is to plant a seed into the public's mind and let them scare themselves alive, scare themselves silly. They did it to me in Big Brother. It's called a psychological operation. They break you down. They try and rebuild you back up. Now, they kind of failed a little bit with me because they offered me TV programs afterwards, and I was like, no, sorry, I'm not your performing monkey. So, but this was an experiment, a psychological experiment on me for 5 weeks. So when I can see a psychological operation, it's because I've been in it before and I've come out the other end with PTSD, and I can understand the signs and I can understand what all the kind of connecting points are because I've been in it before. And I've been in the tail end of this fear and this, like, you know, slowly being driven deliberately mad to see how I react. You know, they bring people in, they want to see how they're going to react, push them to their limit to see what they're going to do. Are they going to snap? Are they going to rip someone's head off? You know, that's what they do. Because then listen, TV programming, they use that terminology for a reason. You know, it's for people to sit and watch, and I'm telling you now. But this what I'm saying here with this, okay, this is nothing to fear, because you've got to remember, you're not in a TV show. There's a collective group of people here. It's not like you're one of 16 that went in a house and they're trying to slowly rip you apart. Trust me on this. This energy that you've come out of with this lockdown is now the truth stage that's starting to come out. Okay, so you're seeing the grip of control slipping. And at this time, this is when spirit are like, right, let that evolve and carry on. Now focus on you. And they're saying, don't fear anything, because that's when you can't understand what's going on. The fear is what lowers the vibration and it keeps you trapped. It keeps you stuck in a low vibration. If you're in a higher vibration and you're trying to focus on the things that uplift you, then you're more high vibration and you can see through, you can read through that energy. So just be very aware. And obviously it's important to balance the two. So you're not just only solely focused on only the good stuff, but you take your time with each of that, and you alternate as and when you feel you need to. So but don't invest too much, because the fear is an agenda here that they're trying to sell with this fear thing, you know. So look, can you see there's like a little gateway into this beautiful kind of reserve of nature, and it says 3 of Cups, a toast to friendship in the afternoon sun, 3 cups in happiness, 3 cheers are done, celebrations are near. This is the card of celebrations. So I feel like they're saying, you know, just keep going with this and take it a step at a time. You're not expected to know everything, and as long as you're trusting your instincts and you're focusing on you will be able to discern. You will discern this. All right. One more. Okay. Guess what card it is? You'll never guess. Patience. Everything soon will come to light, and then you will see things will be all right. Lovely. We knew that. We knew that. Thank you, Holy Spirit. We knew that. Right. Angel answers. Angel answers. Thank you for your likes, guys. I appreciate you. Right. So whatever you're asking for here, there's an unlikely energy behind it. Whether or not it's not the right time, but it's saying if you believe. And then they're also asking for forgiveness. So if you've not been in energy forgiveness, then I would definitely look into that. Definitely look into that. I took my steps earlier today, because I can't be doing with petty, you know, drawing out arguments for 15 years. I'm just can't be doing with that. So I took the steps I needed to take. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it is what it is. So I got some bad news about family this weekend as well, which is not ideal. But you just move on, you try and do what you can do and hope that, you know, everything gets better, isn't it? You know, nothing you can, if you can't physically, especially when they're in a different country, there's nothing you can physically do. So, right, let's have a look. Angel Power Wisdom cards here. Oh, it says 11 likes. Right, let's have a look. Thank you for your likes, guys. I appreciate that. Right, let's have a look. Team Spirit. Oh, I can see 12 now. Thank you, whoever did that. Team Spirit, work together as a team, cooperation, enthusiasm, loyalty, and kindness will ensure a successful outcome. Can you see the rainbow colours? This is about unity, the collective consciousness. We can't ascend if we've got the majority of people that are not aware of or on the same awareness. Unity. This is everyone coming together. I know this. I got to laugh because sometimes I look at these cards and think, this is Spirit. However you're going to do this, I feel like there's going to be some major magic being woven here. But maybe that's just, I don't know. That's just made me laugh a little bit because I don't know. You know, you look at things and you think, wow, that's a big job, you know. But these guys obviously have it under control. That's why I'm laughing, because it just makes me laugh thinking about it. Work together as a team. I mean, that's essentially what we need to do, right? Work together as a team. That's essentially the plan. And that will happen at some point. Like, just maybe not immediately. But at the moment, you know, the idea is lovely. But at some point, this will start balancing itself out. Oh, look, this is lovely. Look. Power of Angels. Look at how lovely this card is. This is so sweet. It says, may your angels protect you, guide you, and keep you safe. So there is nothing to fear except fear itself. And don't forget, that's a very powerful little seed to plant, isn't it? To make people feel like, but there's nothing, you know, your guides are here. They're saying everything is as it should be. They're just saying there's a patience and understanding that is required, and just take it a day at a time, guys. Okay. So hopefully that's been of some help. Thank you so much for your likes and your support to the channel. For the 13th person who hasn't liked my, oh, okay, they've gone. Okay, well, thank you thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful day wherever you are, and yeah, until next time, we're going to go live again, obviously Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. British Standard Time, on Saturday on Twitch, 11 p.m. Take care, have a wonderful evening wherever you are. Until next time, bye.